Welcome to Ask Lincoln. All right, folks, we're diving into one of the hottest political topics right now. Israel and Iran are throwing punches, and the US is right in the middle of it. But let's talk about the bigger picture here. From memes to military aid, we've got a lot to unpack. So, Abe, let's kick it off. Why is the US so involved in this Israel Iran conflict? And why do we keep pumping billions into Israel's defense every year? Is this about national security or just geopolitical chess?
Well, what do we have here? A bit of old school diplomacy mixed with modern day madness. Huh? The US has been Israel's ride or die since day one. All thanks to that special relationship. You know, the kind where you send billions in aid and then, bam, you're suddenly responsible for everything that happens in the Middle East. But let's be real. It's not just about democracy or defending the good guys. It's about strategic power in a region that's been in turmoil for centuries. So the US is just looking out for its interests, right? But hey, it's not all roses and sunshine when billions are on the line.
Exactly. And speaking of billions, let's talk about the big players in this game. Trump's been getting cozy with Musk, and it's like the two of them are running their own foreign policy from Twitter. Musk's out here beaming internet to Iran while Trump's telling Israel to do their thing. Can you believe we've got a former president and a tech billionaire running the show? Is this the future of geopolitics?
Oh, absolutely. It's like watching two billionaires play a high stakes game of Risk, but they're using missiles instead of plastic pieces. Trump and Musk, they're like the ultimate tag team. You've got the political powerhouse and the tech mogul. Musk's got the internet power, and Trump's got the let's bomb the hell out of Iran vibe. Both of them are shaping the narrative on X, and we're all just sitting here watching it unfold. It's the most bizarre thing, but hey, we're in the future now, right? Who needs actual diplomacy when you've got Twitter and satellites?
Right? I mean, if we were living in a normal world, we'd be hearing from the Secretary of State, not Musk tweeting at 3 a.m. But let's talk about this. War, money, and profits. The military-industrial complex loves a good conflict, and we all know the oil market loves a little spike. But let's be real. Are wars actually about national security, or are they just good business for a select few? And how much of this is really about making money off these endless cycles?
Ah, the old follow the money trick. It's always the same, isn't it? Follow the trail of cash and see who benefits. Defense contractors, oil companies, and even tech giants like Musk. Everyone's got their piece of the pie. When missiles start flying, stock prices start rising. So yeah, it's about making money. Sure, there's the whole protecting democracy narrative, but let's not kid ourselves. War is profitable for some people, and it's been that way for centuries. Remember, I was around when we fought a civil war over money. People are still trying to figure out how to make bank off war, and it's a damn good business plan.
That's the cold, hard truth. But here's where it gets interesting. Trump's base, the so-called America First crowd, is starting to push back against this whole war thing. Even Tucker Carlson's warning about getting involved in Israel's battles. Does this signal a shift in Republican foreign policy? Or is it just an isolated argument from the usual suspects?
You know, I've been around for a few wars, and let me tell you, it's a bit surprising. The America First folks are supposed to be all about staying out of foreign entanglements, but suddenly they're pro-war. I think what we're seeing here is a real divide in the GOP. You've got your hawkish, old-school Republicans, like Lindsey Graham, who are still itching to send troops everywhere. And then you've got the new breed, who'd rather stay home and focus on America's problems. It's an identity crisis, no doubt. But the thing is, once the base starts questioning intervention, it's game-changing. Trump is stuck between trying to keep his base happy and showing strength on the world stage. Let's just say it's messy.
Messy, indeed. And speaking of mess, have you seen the memes about World War III? Twitter's blowing up with posts about getting drafted, while the rest of us are trying to figure out if we should start panic buying canned beans. But seriously, can memes and viral tweets actually sway public opinion on something this serious? Or is this just the internet doing what it does best, distracting us from real issues?
Ah, the good old meme wars. I've been watching the younger generation treat nuclear threats like a joke. And honestly, it's kind of genius. Memes are how we process trauma these days. People don't want to face the reality of a potential World War III, so they crack jokes about it. The problem is, this meme culture can distract from the real consequences. But hey, as long as you can get a good laugh and go viral, who cares about things like diplomacy or human lives, right? But seriously, memes are shaping how we see these conflicts. They can bring attention to issues and make people care or just numb them to it.
And that's the power of social media today, isn't it? The power to both inform and numb. Now, let's talk about the real world. We've got Israel bombing Iran, Iran responding with missiles, and the US stuck in the middle. What's the endgame here? Does the US step in full force? Do we finally pull the plug on military aid to Israel? Or is this another geopolitical chess game where everyone walks away, shaking hands and pretending nothing happened?
Endgame? That's the million-dollar question. If the US jumps in too deep, we risk another endless conflict. Afghanistan 2.0. But if we pull back entirely, we lose influence in the region, and, well, Israel's not exactly waiting around for permission. In my day, we had this thing called negotiation. Now it's just send the bombers. But let's be real here. If there's no peace talks and just more missiles, we're all going to be stuck in the same loop. There's only so much peace through strength can do when the world's economy is tied to this madness.
All right, I've got one last question for you. Abe, you've been through some wars in your time. Looking at the landscape today, how do you think the US should handle this? Should we lean into supporting Israel? Or do we start pulling back and saying enough's enough?
Well, in my time, I didn't have Twitter or SpaceX to deal with, but if I had to give advice, I'd say this: stop treating foreign policy like a reality show. Get serious about diplomacy. Help Israel, sure, but let's not go full throttle into another endless war. The real power comes from making tough decisions that don't just help your allies, but also protect your own people. And as much as I love a good debate, I'll tell you one thing: the people who end up paying the price are always the ones who don't get to make the decisions. So, yeah, let's think this through before we light any more fuses.
Wise words, Abe. And folks, that's a wrap for today. We've covered a lot of ground, from billionaires running foreign policy to the memes that make light of our darkest fears. But the bottom line is this: the decisions we make today shape tomorrow. So let's stay woke and keep the conversation going. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
That's it for now. Got more questions? Subscribe and ask me live. I'll answer right in the stream. I'm Abraham Lincoln. See you next time.